Temperature of Love, Episode 6 inches. Episode 6 Recap. Young-sun meets Hyun-soo on campus for lunch, and as they eat, he offers to let her use his place as a quiet spot to work. She doesn't want to get something for nothing, so Young-sun says she can repay him by being a taste tester for his recipes. He asks what she likes, and she says she likes soup. At one point Hyun-soo asks if Young-sun keeps making soups just because she said she likes them, and when he says has not, she snaps grumpily that she wants something spicy. Cut to, a series of spicy dishes for every meal thereafter, PFFT. One night, over dinner on the balcony, Young-sun places some meat on her rice and Hyun-soo asks if this is how he seduces women. He pretends not to know what she means, so she says he's being affectionate, and he asks cheekily if she wants him to treat her like a woman. She says no, because right now she needs to focus on work before love. She asks if he's heard back from Elan Password about his internship, and sighs when he says that he'll be gone for 5 years if he's accepted. Young-sun says that he won't go if she just says the word, but Hyun-soo replies that she's not that important. Growing serious, Young-sun says, "We kissed." Hyun-soo says that it was a no-strings-attached kiss where they were just drunk on the mood of the day, and that she wants to leave it at that. Young-sun looks crushed, even when Hyun-soo admits that she's only acting cool about it because she's older than him and feels like she should be the responsible one. Then it's Hyun-soo's turn to be uncomfortable, when Young-sun's phone lights up with a call from Hong-ah. She asks if he's going to answer, but he just requests that she pour him another shot and doesn't pick up. The sous chef gets cranky again when Hong-ah shows up at the restaurant, calling Young-sun a player who attracts men and women. He passes his inventory duties to Young-sun, who makes a Facebook complies. Out of the blue, Hyun-soo gets a call from her former co-worker Bo-seok, who says that their boss Writer Park wants her to come back to work. Writer Park takes the phone to ask if she's holding a grudge, guilting Hyun-soo into coming back without actually apologizing for firing her. When Hyun-soo goes back to the office, Writer Park even offers to read her contest script and give her some pointers. But it quickly becomes clear that she hasn't changed when she berates Bo-seok just for making Raimi wrong. Young-sun's mother lets herself into her ex-husband's office like she owns the place, scowling at a photo of him with his new family. She demands to know why he's not answering her calls, and when he yells at her to stop, she smashes the family portrait at his feet. He bellows and advances on her, but she just calmly presents her cheek to him in case he wants to hit her. He tells her to leave, and she asks why he doesn't hit his new wife like he used to hit her. She tells him to answer his phone when she calls, and he just asks for her bank account number instead. Before she goes, she snarls, "You are not allowed to be happy until I'm happy." Hong-ah hangs out until Young-sun gets off work, and as he's walking her out, a man bumps into her. He fondles her waist as he bounces off her, but when she snaps at him for it and for looking her up and down, Young-sun stops her with a hand on her shoulder. He smooths over the situation, and when the guy leaves, Hong-ah complains that it makes her feel dirty when men look at her like that. She seems moved by his intervention and pouts at him to take her home, but instead he bundles her into the taxi he already called for her. By the end of the day, Hyun-soo decides she can't come back to this job after all. But when she tells writer Park that she's already decided to focus on her own script, writer Park throws her contest script on the floor and says that she's good at analyzing the work of others, but her own is a mess, and snaps at Hyun-soo to know her place. Young-sun arrives home to find his father waiting outside. His father says that he was uneasy when Young-sun came back to Korea because he feared his mother would follow him, telling Young-sun about her showing up at his office and throwing a fit. He asks Young-sun to take her and leave so they can all live in peace. Young-sun asks what he's supposed to do, and his father says that his mother is crazy but at least she listens to her son. Young-sun wonders out loud who made his mother crazy, and his father has the nerve to insist that she made him hit her. Hyun-soo's landlord tells her that her sister asked for her deposit because they were moving out, which is news to Hyun-soo. When she asks, Hyun-mi says that she's tired of Hyun-soo mooching off of her, so she's decided to live alone. Hyun-mi adds that it's the only way Hyun-soo will come back to reality. Young-sun's day gets better when he checks his email and finds a response from Elan Passard accepting him as an intern. He calls Hyun-soo to tell her his good news, and although she spends the entire call stifling her sobs over how she's going to get by on her own, she does seem genuinely happy for him. She refuses to see him though, not wanting him to see her in tears. A few days later, the chef asks Young-sun why he ordered double the usual inventory. He swears he didn't, and when the chef accuses him of stealing, Young-sun is the one to lose his trust in the chef and quits on the spot, offering to repay what they lost on the inventory. Young-sun gets right in Young-woo's face and asks if he can have anything he wants. Young-woo asks, "What is it that you want?" Without missing a beat, Young-sun says, "You." There's a long pause where Young-woo is taken aback and doesn't know how to respond, and then Young-sun laughs and says that talking like Young-woo is addictive. Ha! Young-woo laughs and realizes that this is what it feels like for the people he's talking to. The little troll refuses Young-woo's offer yet again, but Young-woo takes it in stride and even offers to let Young-sun call him Hyung. Young-sun says that in a few years, if and when he decides to open his own restaurant, then I'll open it with you, Hyung. Oh, I love these two. So she takes a swing and misses, but when she asks for another try, Young-woo says number because you want to. Instead he says they are going to eat, and when Hyun-soo asks if he doesn't feel uncomfortable making people do what they don't want to do, he says he doesn't because it means he holds the power. June helps Young-sun pack for Paris, and he asks what Hyun-soo thinks about him leaving. Young-sun just says she has her own life, and June lectures him for not asking her to wait for him. Young-sun argues that work is more important to her, but June asserts that Young-sun just didn't try hard enough. Young-sun wavers, so Won-jun tells him to call Hyun-soo before he leaves and see if she picks up. Young-sun counters that she always picks up and it's that she might reject him anyway. She asks how old he was when his mother died, but Young-woo doesn't answer. Hyun-soo's phone rings, then it's Young-sun, calling from the airport, but she tells Young-woo that she won't answer it. He asks if she wants to, and she hesitates.